Remember this scene because I guarantee it has played out for you in the last month. It's 5:30 p.m.
On a Friday.
You've just clocked out of another 45-hour week. You're physically in your car or on the train, but your mind is completely blank, utterly spent.
The thought of cooking a meal feels as feasible as summiting Everest. So you open the delivery app. You order Thai food or pizza or burgers, $45 with tip and fees. You get home.
You crack open a beer or pour a glass of wine to soften the edges. You sink into the couch and stream a show you don't even care about, just to make the static in your brain stop.
You tell yourself, I earned this. I worked hard.
But what if I told you that mathematically, you didn't just spend $45? What if I told you that the pizza, the gas you burned driving home, the professional shirt you wore to the office, and the stress that pushed you to order that meal are all hidden taxes silently eroding your salary by nearly 70%?
You believe you're selling your time for $30 an hour, but after a forensic audit of your life, the math might prove you're actually working for less than $4.
My name is Richard, and I obsess over the invisible equations that govern our lives, the ones that keep us on hamster wheels spinning slightly faster than we can run. If you look at your paycheck and wonder where it all goes, if you feel like you're working harder than ever in late 2025, but your savings are stagnant, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
Because today, we're not talking about investing. We're talking about an accounting fraud. Not one committed by a corporation, but one you unknowingly commit against yourself every time you judge a job by its gross salary.
We're going to calculate your real hourly wage. And I must warn you, once you see this number, you'll never look at a price tag or a job offer the same way again.
Here's the fundamental lie we're sold from graduation day, that our value is defined by our annual salary. If you make $65,000 a year, that's roughly $31 an hour.
That sounds decent, respectable, enough to live on, theoretically. But in business, looking at revenue without expenses is how companies go bankrupt. If a bakery sells $1 million in bread, but spends $1.1 million on flour and rent, it's worth zero. Yet with our own labor, we only look at the revenue, the salary. We ignore the cost of goods sold. And the good being sold is you. Your life, your energy. The cost of selling yourself to an employer is astronomical. Let's perform a brutal audit of a hypothetical average worker. Call him James. James makes that respectable $31 an hour. But before that money hits his account, the government takes its cut. Between federal, state, and FICA taxes, that $31 is instantly reduced to about $24. That's the easy math. We all know it. But now we subtract the work-centric costs, expenses James incurs solely for the privilege of having his job. 1. The commute. The average American spends thousands on gas, maintenance, and insurance just to reach the building where they make money. A 30-minute drive each way is wear and tear on a vehicle he essentially owns to get to work. A train? That's a monthly pass. Conservatively, $4,000 a year. 2. The cost of appearance. James needs business casual clothes, dry cleaning, a professional look. It's a uniform tax. 3. The convenience tax. This is massive because James is at the office 9 to 5. He buys lunch twice a week. No time to prep. The $5 coffee to survive the 2 p.m. Slump. The dog walker because he's not home. These are costs that wouldn't exist without the job. He's spending money to work. The darkest category, decompensation spending. This is the money James spends to numb the job's psychological toll, the Friday bar tab. The impulsive vacation, the therapy bills. The retail therapy. It's money spent to heal the damage the work inflicts. Add these monetary costs, taxes, car, clothes, lunches, numbness, and James isn't netting $65,000. His real take-home might be closer to $35,000. But we're only halfway done. Wage is money divided by ton. And just as we overestimate the money, we drastically underestimate the time. HR says James works 40 hours. That's a lie. He wakes at 6:30 a. To shower, shave, iron.
30 minutes of unpaid labor for the employer.
He drives 30 minutes to work, unpaid labor. His 1-hour lunch is off the clock, but he's held captive at the office.
He drives 30 minutes home, then he spends 30 minutes decompressing, venting about his boss, checking emails, all shadow work. Time that belongs to the job but isn't paid for. Add the grooming, commuting, captive lunch, and decompressing, and James isn't dedicating 40 hours a week. He's dedicating $55 to $60. Now the real math, the real hourly wage, we take that whittled down net income of $35,000 and divide it by the true time commitment, nearly 3,000 hours a year.
When you run that calculation, the $31 an hour evaporates. James is making $11 or $8 an hour.
In some high-stress, high-cost scenarios, he's mathematically making less than the teenager flipping burgers who walks to work, wears a provided uniform, and leaves his stress at the fryer. This is the work scam.
You've been tricked into a high-churn, low-margin business model where you are the product and you're selling yourself at a loss. Now, I know this sounds bleak.
You might think, great, I'm broke and my job sucks.
But we do this math not to breed despair, but to fuel efficiency and anger.
Once you know your real hourly wage, your entire view of consumption shifts. It's a concept from Your Money or Your Life, translating dollars into life energy.
Your real wage is $10. A $100 pair of shoes isn't a $100. It's 10 hours of your life.
10 hours of traffic, emails, and missed moments. Is it worth it?
Suddenly, the answer is usually no. This math exposes the trap of golden handcuffs.
A promotion with a $10,000 raise sounds great, but if it demands later nights, more takeout, nicer suits, a second car, and higher stress requiring a pricier vacation, your real hourly wage may actually drop.
You're moving more money, but keeping less, and giving up more life to do it. There's also a terrifying hidden opportunity cost. That $5 daily work coffee? Over 30 years at a 7% return, it's nearly $200,000. You're not just drinking coffee, you're drinking your retirement, your freedom.
The system relies on you being too tired to run these numbers. It wants you to be a passive consumer of your own life, thinking, I make good money. So you finance the car and apartment that keep you trapped, needing the job to pay for the lifestyle you bought to endure the job.
So what's the solution? We don't have to quit and live in the woods.
The solution is to ruthlessly optimize your real hourly wage. This becomes your new success metric, not income, but efficiency.
Can you negotiate working from home? Saving commute time and gas is a direct raise.
Can you meal prep? That lowers your cost of goods sold.
Can you simplify your work wardrobe? Can you move closer?
Every dollar of work expense you cut is a dollar of pure profit. Every hour of reclaimed time is an hour of freedom.
The biggest shift is psychological. Start treating your labor like a business.
A smart business owner maximizes margin, not just revenue. Your life is the business.
Your margin is the time and money left to actually live. If you make $100,000, but spend $95,000 and 80 hours a week to earn it, you're a failing enterprise.
But if you make $50,000, spend $20,000, and work 30 hours, you're a highly profitable, robust operation. You're winning.
Turn this negative epiphany into action. This weekend, sit down fresh and run your numbers.
Calculate your commute cost. Estimate taxes.
Be brutally honest about your decompensation spending. Divide your real net pay by your total hours committed to the job.
Write that number on a sticky note. Put it on your credit card.
My real wage, $8.50.
The next time you are about to make an impulsive buy, look at it. Ask, am I willing to trade 4 hours of my life for this?
That friction will save you more than any budget app. We live in an era where time is the ultimate currency.
The wealthy buy it. The poor sell it at a discount. Don't sell yours at a loss.
Audit your life. Cut the vampire cost attached to your job.
Build the gap between your income and expenses, because that gap is where your freedom lives. If this made you rethink your paycheck, share it with a tired coworker.
We're all in this trap, but we can math our way out together. Thanks for watching.
I'll see you in the next one.